Hi everyone, good morning or good afternoon from wherever you are watching us from. Welcome again to another segment of Inclusive Reflections. In this show, as we said, we discuss everything that has to do with life, marriage, leadership, education, everything. And that is why we call it Inclusive Reflections. We reflect together. And today is not an exemption. I promised to be bringing guests on board. And today we have an amazing woman from Embu County. She's doing an amazing job. She is championing for girl child menstrual hygiene. She will also be touching on women in leadership. And today, I want us to have an opportunity to discuss a topic of, for the last few days, that has been hot in the social media about something that comes in line with the hygiene and the menstrual cycle, that is endometriosis. If I've called it out. So welcome on board, and if you have not subscribed, please don't forget to hit that subscription button so that we can be able to move a journey together. So far, we appreciate you because you have been part of this journey. So help me to welcome on board Madam Frida. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Very well, thank
Karibu
you.
sana.
Asante.
Please say hi to our viewers and help us to get to know you more, and so that we can get to the topic of the day. We are so much honored for your presence. I know you are a busy woman. Thank you so much for finding time.
Yeah.
We need this discussion. We need you to help us to understand, and so that we can be able to get and grasp something before the end of the day. Yes.
Hi, our viewer and our listener, for those who are specially abled. My name is Dr. Frida Karani, and I am your guest today to discuss various issues that are affecting us as women and in society as a whole. Thank you so much, my sister Terry, for having me.
You're welcome.
And just like she has asked, kindly subscribe so that we move with this journey together. And I look forward to a good show.
Thank you so much for coming. How have you been?
I've been well. It's been a while. It's been a period of transition and rediscovering myself.
Yeah.
As you're aware, I have been a lecturer at the University of Embu for a very long time.
Yeah.
From when the university started in 2014. That's when I joined them.
Yeah.
And in 2022, I stepped down briefly to go and seek for the senatorial seat in Embu County.
Yeah.
I didn't clinch the seat, but that for me was the closure of that chapter and the beginning of now another chapter of me rediscovering myself. So I got very much exposed to the real needs of the ground in Embu. And we are still doing well, identifying our niche and even identifying our purpose. Yes.
Wow. Please tell us about, there's a time, I've been following you for quite a while, and I think there is a place that I saw you are, is it the third runners-up, Miss President?
Yes.
Please tell us more about that and what was it about?
Yeah.
Yes, would love to know you more.
Yes, Miss President gives me a lot of nostalgia because it was like my launch pad and my platform to alternative leadership as opposed to political leadership. Although Miss President is a program that prepares young women to take on leadership, to understand the details of leadership, and even by the name Miss President, then you're encouraged that you can seek the highest possible seat in any land on the globe.
Office,
So, and through Miss President, I was able to get an eye opener. And my mind my mindset was changed, and I realized that my purpose as a person is just not in serving in political leadership, because political leadership is seasonal and is not just having to serve an employer. And in fact, I want to say that employment is good, it gives us security. But sometimes when you're an employee, if you're not careful, you're not able to connect with your purpose. So Miss President, Embu County helped me introspect and find my purpose. And after the program, they sustained me for a period of 1 year with funding so that I'm able to establish my work in the community. And that's what I've been doing since then.
Wow. So you'd say it's the one that launched your calling or the entry to your purpose-oriented leadership that you're looking for. This particular time, allow me to ask, so do we say that Miss President is a political-based a kind of a thing that ushers women and the young women who would wish really to engage in political many positions? Is it totally political?
No,
Would you
Miss
say that?
President is not totally political because there is nowhere where the political structure of the country comes in.
Yeah.
In terms of the framework of the program.
Okay.
However, because of the nature, presidency is political.
True.
So at some point they invite political leaders and government leaders to come and talk to the ladies about what it entails to be a leader in government. Because there is between government and politics, there's a very big connection. True. You cannot be in government if you're not political.
Not political.
So, but by the normal definition of politics, the program is not political.
All right.
It is not inclined, for example, to any side of political sides.
Yeah.
It just wants to work with the government that is in place at that time.
Okay.
And prepare ladies to take position in whichever government, despite their personal political inclinations.
All right.
Yes.
All right. So that is nice. At least it has given you a platform, and here we are because we want to believe. I want to believe that at this particular time, you have been able to visualize yourself and where you want to be. And as you have said earlier, with you trying to get the senatorial seat, you've been able to go. Unaenda pale chini ambiangwa mambo kwa ground ni tofauti. Now you understand, and I want to believe in this life it's all about learning, relearning, and unlearning.
Yes.
So at least this particular time, God has placed you in a place whereby you can be able to meet the needs of the people that you came across when you are doing your campaigns and everything. With that, even as we continue, please allow us to get to know, in a nutshell, who is Dr. Frida?
Dr. Frida,
where was she raised? Where she grew up? Yes, I think we would love to get to know you as we get to our discussion.
I was born and raised in Cameo, and I schooled in Cameo Primary School and went to Ngovio Girls for my secondary school. After that, I went to Catholic University for my bachelor's. I went to Kemu for my master's, and I went to Jomo Kenyatta for my PhD. So from there, I was able to practice as a field officer. I started as a field officer.
Okay.
We founded the Faulu Kenya in Embu County, and I grew professionally through very many organizations, NGOs and private organizations and cash-based organizations.
Yeah.
The climax of my work has been at the University of Embu, where I taught for 8 years.
Okay.
Today, I describe myself as a very ambitious and fearless advocate of women empowerment, of girl child empowerment, and of youth development. Because when you talk about the youth, you talk about a group that is between 18 and 34. And that's a very busy period in somebody's life. And also a period with a lot of expectations.
Yeah.
So you find that unless young people are guided by somebody who's been there before, a lot of their youth period is wasted with them trying to, finish university or college, trying to get employment. It's a period they're expected to get families and the like. So when it comes to the young people, I work with them so that they build sustainable organizations together. Because it's also a period of finding themselves where they are not even able to know what is my calling, what is my purpose, what am I supposed to do. Most of them are even still under the care of their parents. So when it comes to youth development, that's what I do. And I work with organizations, and currently I'm the chair of the board of trustees of EXO, Embu County Campus Students Organization, and they're doing a good job. When it comes to women and girl child empowerment, I do menstrual hygiene, because when I left the university, I had an initiative called SITMAP. SITMAP stands for Stitch in Time, My Africa Project. And I would encourage people, when you feel in your community you live there's a need, it's good to find an initiative, give it a name and package it, because that also helps with fundraising and reaching out to partners.
All right.
And so SITMAP was going to look into the well-being of the elderly women, especially if they are widowed. It was going to look at the welfare of the women who are women living with disabilities. And then it was going to look at the matters of children and involving children in environmental activities.
Okay.
So I founded it when I was in my youth. But when I exited my youth, I gave up that organization to somebody else who is a young person to run with it and continue with the partners and the networks that we had established for it. I founded Optimal Woman, and that is the baby. And Optimal Woman is the one that now deals with issues of women empowerment, menstrual equity. We call it menstrual equity. Gender equity, greening our cities, like the environment we are in. this should also be replicated in our towns.
Okay.
And we do this through bamboo afforestation.
Mm-hmm.
So that is who Frida is.
Mm-hmm.
And I know many people see me doing a lot of things out there. And I want to say that, again, because of who I am,
Yeah.
how I've developed in character and the values that I carry,
Yeah.
you're able to get partners to walk the journey with you, because ni ngumu sana kupata partners
True.
to support you if your character is questionable.
Sure.
I would also want to highlight the fact that having been in politics, which is, I think, a topic for another day, Terry.
Yeah, that one is a long one. And how you maneuvered to even get to that, trying the city, the senatorial seat.
If you're not careful with politics,
your values,
it can change your name, it can change your values, because right now that's something that I'm also working on, trying to rebrand myself and tell people, hey, Frida has something to offer. Mukiona Frida, musione tu politician. Frida is a social worker. Frida is somebody who can mentor young people. She's been with them in university for over 10 years, because before Embu, I was in Mount Kenya
University.
So, yes. So you have to really rebrand yourself very quickly, and it's not easy.
Can imagine.
So that is who I am. Yes.
Wow. I've followed your story, and I've followed your passion for the menstrual equity. Let me ask you, why the name menstrual equity?
You know, in Kenya, and Embu is not any different. Because of the poverty levels, and us being a developing country, you find the issue of sanitary towels among girls and sanitary hygiene and menstrual hygiene is not very well known. A girl, when they go to school, their interaction with menstruation is in a science class or a biology class. But after that, there's so much that goes on within a girl, socially and psychologically, that is not taken care of by the curriculum. So you find that because of being menstruators, girls undergo a lot of stigma. They are very shy about who they are. There's a lot of taboo around shedding of blood. So you find that when girls reach the puberty and they start menstruating and their bodies start changing, instead of a girl being very outgoing, they retreat. They become shy. You find, for example, a girl who is not able to be in school for 4 days a month when they are on their menstruation because they cannot afford a sanitary pad. So we came up with that program of menstrual equity, which simply says we want to give a girl that which they don't have, so that they are able to be lifted. Maybe I take this opportunity to explain the difference between equity and equality. Equality is exposing us to the same opportunities. Like when we say every child should go to school, boy or girl, that is equality. But when you go to the school now, you find that there are still other children who have special needs. So now this child, you try to bring them up by giving them what they need and what the other doesn't need. And in our case, this is the girl versus the boy. Because the girl now needs the sanitary pad to be able to come to school feeling very confident. And you know, my sister Terry is very interesting because this issue of menstrual equity has also gone to the workplace. Because there are women who are not able to give their best at the workplace because of issues associated with menstrual equity, menstrual hygiene, and the accessibility of menstrual products. Yes.
Wow. I'm looking at a situation whereby in the current society that we are living in, there are so many medias whereby people can get information. And it's not like when we were growing up. I'm not that old, Daktari. But I remember when I was growing up and I started my menses, I was in Kangaroo High School. And this is a topic that I could not have brought it up with my mother. My mother is my best friend right now as we talk. We are very close. But even now, there are things I cannot discuss with my mother. And I'm a mother myself. But I'm looking at the way we were parented in terms of us having conversations regarding the menstrual cycle, regarding sex, because sex right now is not a topic that we're going to say it's a taboo. You know, you're not going to speak to your children about it. And I'm like, what is it that we are supposed to do to be able to bring up this girl child that is from a less privileged family? Because I think we just assume that they are okay. But yet when you go on the ground, as I had shared earlier with you, of a girl that inboxed me the other day, and she's like, I'm not able to go to school, I cannot access pads, I live with my grandmother. But at the same time, we tend to feel as if everything is out there. So where is the disparity? What is it that, where is the discrepancy coming from in the position of being able to ensure that the girl can be able to access these pads? You, where was your passion born in all this? And what has been your discovery and the journey been like since you have been able to go on the ground? I've seen you go to high schools. I've seen you giving these pants to girls.
Yes.
Please let us know much more about that.
The issue of menstruation,
Yeah.
when a girl receives her periods, most girls do not know what is happening to them because they only have theory. That is the story that I've gathered from girls and from teachers and even from caretakers.
Yeah.
That one day you just be a girl, you got to 13, and then one day you just go to change or to do your things, and you realize you're shedding blood.
And
So
bearing in mind, sorry,
yes.
it's not even 13. Nowadays, are they not even starting their cycle at
Yes, at 10.
10?
10 years. 10 years is a grade 5 child.
Yeah.
Grade 5, grade 6.
Wow.
Because of our lifestyle, what we are eating and the way we are living. So children are maturing very fast. Their hormones are picking up very fast.
Okay.
So then I realized from testimonies of girls telling me that when they received their periods the first time, they didn't know what was happening. So, but you ask them, but you're taught in school. Then they say, but you see, school, once you do the exam, you forget that it was a real issue.
Yeah.
And then, of course, because of not understanding what they are going through, because of fear, because of shame, like blood inatoka wapi,
Sure.
they are not able to tell their parents.
Yeah.
For those who tell their parents or their mothers or fathers, for those who are very close to their fathers, or maybe their father is a single father, you find that their habit now is normalized to the buying of pads. However, in most families that we work with and most children that we work with, if a parent goes out for kibarua, let me give an example of a single mother.
Okay.
They go for kibarua.
Yeah.
They come back with 150 shillings. The decision has to be in that household. Ni chakula tutanunua,
ama ni pads,
ama ni food, ama ni pads tutalipa, ama ni ile school fees mwalimu amekufukuzia nitalipa. In most cases, they will prioritize food and maybe to pay the school fees. So what that girl does, because once you start shedding, it cannot stop. You cannot postpone it.
Yeah.
Whether you are sleeping, annoyed, happy, it just has to come.
Yeah.
The girl will go and possibly share with some young men or some old men, maybe an uncle out there in the market.
Yeah.
The man will give money or provide the sanitary towel.
Yeah.
However, in most cases, these girls are required to pay back, and they pay back through sex. And that is what we call transactional sex for pads.
For some.
There's also somewhere we have the analogy of work for pads for girls. That if you're coming to get a sanitary towel from me, I ask you to lima my shamba, which now again translates to child labor. Sure. And what this means is that continually this girl, at least every 4, 5, up to 7 days in a month, they are not attending school. Yeah. Which translates to about 84 days in a year. 84 days in a year is 2.5 months of a girl not being in school. So that story touched my heart, and I said to myself, I've never had to struggle with accessibility of a sanitary towel. My parents were able to provide. Wow. So I felt it's my responsibility that even now I'm able to buy myself whole stock 6 months and keep in my house. Yeah. Then because I know how I can maneuver, why don't I start sharing this with the girls? Okay. So I started committing my own funds to buying sanitary towels and distributing to the girls, and especially in the mixed day secondary schools. Because these mixed day secondary schools is where the children go because of the special needs of their community or their families. Yeah. So you find they are really, really in need of these things. And with time, the scale of the need became so big, I had now to start working, mobilizing with other people. Yeah. Then we realized that when we give girls sanitary towels, because of the need that they have, hawatumii vizuri. Mtu akivaa sanitary towel moja juu hataki ile pakiti Freedom alimletea iishe, anashinda nayo the whole day. Na sitamchoma wewe. Itamchoma, ita collect infection. Yeah. It will have so many things. Ama yenye amelala nayo, anamkia tu nayo anaenda shule. So then we decided, let us try the reusable sanitary towels, zile za kuosha. Then we realized in some places down here, like in Bere, where there is no water.
Yeah.
So, and even if they have water, they have so little. Sometimes you have to wash it with soap. You don't rinse it well.
Yeah.
So when you don't, even your panty, when you don't rinse it, utoi sabuni vizuri, it changes the pH of your feminine space.
Yeah.
And now you start having infections, kujikuna, and those kind of things. So we realized it's a big problem down there. On top of that, when you give the reusable, when I'm not on my periods and you're my sister, we share.
What do you mean?
Who shares pads? Yes, it happens.
My God.
The girls are even feeling ashamed. So I have to wash this thing and anika it, and my father is in the compound. So it became so complicated.
Yeah.
We realized that the only way to do right now is to do the donation of the sanitary towels.
Yeah.
Then we realized the fourth president of Kenya had actually allocated money for the distribution of sanitary pads to all girls in Kenya through the Ministry of Education. But when we go to the school, it's not happening. Why is it not happening? We don't know. But the girls are menstruating. So it became an emergency.
Yeah.
And Terry, up to date, accessibility of menstrual products for girls is still an emergency in Kenya. Wow. We are wondering, where are we going wrong? Mpaka tunajiuliza, is it that our parliament is so full of men
that they don't?
Yeah, they just don't connect with this
But
thing.
the other day, Daktari, we have seen Gloria, what is her name?
Gloria,
and what she was trying to do. Yes. What and whatever she did and what she went through trying to create awareness. What happened from there? Because forgive me, but I'm not much into politics. And I would want to know, did it bring any impact after whatever she did? Because I'm in Nairobi, I've seen billboards of her all over. Did it attract any attention to donors or people that were willing to walk a journey with people like you that are willing to put their money, to get their money out of the pocket to be able to sustain a girl child in school?
Yes, Gloria Oroba, Senator Gloria Oroba, and I want to just give her hands up for what she's doing. And we are working with her also, but through a collective that took me on, called the Nguvu Collective. But you know what happened to Senator Gloria after she did that in Parliament? She was thrown out.
Yes, I saw the way it was.
But she, her zeal and her understanding of what menstruation is could not stop her. And that's why we women, we stood with her. Right? Then she drafted a bill. I saw that has taken a whole year in Senate without the first reading. So this struggle is all over. Ukikuja kwa ground community, hakuna sanitary pads. Ukienda police level, these things are just not being prioritized. But I want to take this opportunity and just call upon our men. Starting with our leaders, our policy makers. Starting with my own MP, Honorable Mukonji Gitonga, and our MPs in Embu and the MPs in Kenya. Kindly prioritize the menstrual equity policies and bills so that this matter is stabilized in Kenya. The girls are suffering. I have a campaign that is currently going on. It's an online petition that every constituency should establish pad banks. And these pad banks should not be over-politicized. The politicians can be patrons, but the structure needs to be in such a way that it is not over-politicized. Because unless we get it right on top there, we continue mobilizing. And you know, Terry, nitakuja kwako nikwambie unipe pad this month, next month, the other month you also
nitachoka.
Yeah, I know.
Kwani ujui utapata una periods zinakuja ama zilikwambia zitahama?
I know. Donor fatigue is real. You go to the men, when I mobilize from men, most men, they ask me, I get messages back that, what about the boy child? So these men, there's so much to be done. These men still don't understand.
I've seen it, and even as I asked you earlier, there's a group that I saw, and someone was saying, please, Daktari, if you decide to give a girl child a sanitary, please carry with you a boxer and give to the boy. You know, I looked at that statement and I was wondering, do we really understand what we are discussing? Do we understand the effect the menstrual periods brings along when it comes to that moment for a girl child? Because I'll tell you for sure, Frida, there's something that my life where I am, I'm not where I want to be, but I thank God for the steps that I've made so far. And when I finished Form 4, I come from let me call it a humble home. Tuseme tu hivyo. And we stayed there with my mom, and I was looking at myself struggle to get sanitary towels, and nimemaliza form 4. Sasa nikakaa nikajiuliza, now what next? So tutakaa hapa nianze kudepend on mom. Fine, she doesn't even have money to take me to college. And I feel like I want to, but at the moment, do I take panga, you go lima for someone so that at least they can give you 100 bob, 200 bob. I sat down, then an opportunity presented itself. There is a friend of my mom. My mom is a business person. So there's a friend of hers where she used to get mandizi that she used to take to soko. That's how our mother has raised us, and I honor that woman. She knows that. And one of the customers that my mother used to buy from, if I'm right, the son who lives in Nairobi needed a house girl. And my mother came, suggested, and I'm like, by the way, she's having a good idea, because hata sikuwa ifika Nairobi. So nasemanga, I went to become a house help for 2 things. To be able to freely access sanitary towel for myself and get away the shame, because singeipata. You know, as you're saying, ameenda soko amepata 500, there's school fees for 4 children, there is a lot that has to be provided for, and she's overwhelmed herself. So you see, she would really want to give you. She would really want, because no mother would want her daughter to go maybe with a stained dress. No mother would want her daughter to go borrowing pads, just that they can't. And I remember that's how I started my life. I went to Nairobi and I was employed. I was earning 3,000. That was back in 2009. So I'm just saying, to just interject on the point that we are discussing, as much as men really want, we are talking also about equality when it comes to giving boy child a chance and attention. They should understand that menstruation, when it comes to a girl, it's not something we're gonna achieve. We are equal, men and women. We will never be.
There's nothing that a man or a boy goes through that can equate to menstruation. So what we do and what we advocate is the men watupatie space na watu support. And what we do when we are doing our menstrual equity campaign is, when we give the girl a pad, the best you can do to a man or a boy is give them education. Because it is these boys who even laugh at the girls.
True.
So we just give them education. And then when they near their exams, now we can put the girls and the boys together, and we give them pencils and rulers and books, and the girls get panties and girls get boxers. But like I'm telling you, Terry, it is overwhelming, because all these things need to be bought.
True.
Right now, during the Menstrual Hygiene Day on May 28th, I led a campaign in Nairobi for Nguvu Collective Change Leaders to call for the reduction of tax. Hii tax iko Kenya inakuja mpaka hapa. So this pack of near pads can go for 65 shillings.
Yes.
But you know, the normal pads that are in the market circulating all over, they can go to 90, 100,
120.
Yeah. So for us, we are even calling that these products should be tax exempt.
True.
If you go to every public toilet, there's a condom. A condom is choice.
True.
A man chooses whether to use a condom or not. Or they agree with their partner.
True.
Menstruation, hakuna kuagree ukuje ama usikuje. That's
it's a way of life.
Yes. If condoms are given for free, can we have sanitary dispensers for free? But you know what is interesting? The other day I was doing research on how we got here with the free condoms. And it's been, I think, the first campaigns, kuna wimbo ilikuwa inaimbwa Sema nami. That was done 16 years ago. But then I was saying, menstrual equity can't wait 16 years.
True.
Every day there is a girl joining puberty. Every day there is a girl starting her menstruation. It cannot be treated like, these guys let us campaign for as long as we campaign to get free condoms. It cannot happen. These girls, because of their menstrual health and menstrual hygiene issues, they are even suffering endometriosis. And endometriosis is now becoming, all cameras are on it, because it's associated with menstruation. But when it begins and when it needs diagnosis, kwanza tunaititingi kama hizo ni cramps, it's normal pain to have pain during your menses.
Frida, let me tell you the truth,
Yes.
without me being exempted.
Yes.
Right now wa Kenya, mesikia mpaka kutamka jina ni shida. Imejulikana sababu ya, what is her name? I'm forgetting. Jambi.
Yes.
Jambi, yani, I'm seated here and I'm wondering, does it take someone to die for people to get knowledge on something? Is it that we are so ignorant or we don't know? Totally ilea, because it's something that right now, as we are discussing it, Jambi is gone, and this is something we have seen her fight over the years. We could not even understand what it is about. And I remember when I tried to look it up, I remembered I had a friend years back, and that will make me to also come to a certain myth that I had when it comes to cramps and the pain in the period and all that. And I remember my friend back then used to have a lot of pain. She's called Jackie. We have gone through a lot. Kwa tumeajiriwa house girls Nairobi pamoja na yeye. And I remember she used to go through a lot of pain. I used to also go through the same, but hers was extreme. Hers was extreme. So in this particular time, the myth I'm telling you about comes to a place, and someone tells her, I don't know, you really have to clarify and enlighten us on this before we come to endometriosis. Kaambiwa, ukipata mtoto, hii uchungu inaisha. And let me tell you the truth. It is very bad to transfer the misconceptions you have about things to other ignorant people that don't know how to go an extra mile to get the right knowledge. As we moved on some few months in Nairobi and all that, kidogo kidogo the girl is pregnant.
Oh my.
So I was like, yani pain pushed you until you really had to try whatever it is told. So please, I'm going to ask you a question. Is it true? Does it work? What really happens? And I would also want you to take this opportunity to explain to our viewers, what is endometriosis? How does it come about? How is a girl who is going through, tutajiambia ni normal cramps za periods? And that reminds me, there is one of my assistant just the other Juicy. She came and told me, I'm in a lot of pain. I just want you to give me permission to go home. And I was like, what's the problem? I'm on my period. So I asked myself, I'm mentoring you, right? I cannot just exempt you to go home because of something that is part of your life. Because huwezi sema ati kila wakati unaenda nyumbani. So what will happen?
I know.
So please enlighten us more about this myth, because maybe a girl will watch this or a mother is watching this and is maybe unajua wamama uongea. The good thing with ladies talk. Maybe kuna mwenye ashaimwambia nilipopata wangu, you know. And I'm looking at this generation. Tumesema periods watoto wanapata hata wakiwa 9-10 years. And that means your body has matured up. So that means a small mistake that yenye ni ya kujaribu utajipata. So many dreams, including that of my friend, I'll tell you, maybe it was aborted because of the pain she was going through. This is something that has even taken a life, Jambi's life. This is something that the pain of a father losing a daughter, he is normal. Would you please tell us how to go about it? What is this? Because ninajua tu, kwanza men wanasikia tu endometriosis, hawajui. And again, we have cases right now, single fatherhood has become, fathers are raising girls on their own. What would you also be your advice on them? Do kama mimi, nobody showed us how to put a pad in your panty, how it's, please.
If we have time, we should demonstrate with this. Now, endometriosis is more in the medical condition, more like a gynecological and obstetric condition. Because it involves the reproductive system of a woman or of a girl. But in a nutshell, endometriosis is when the uterine walls are not able to cramp to constrict enough to remove all the blood that a girl is supposed to shed. So what happens is that this blood starts going back to the walls of the uterus. It may find itself in the back into the body. It can clog lungs. It can clog arteries. So that's the simplest condition, the simplest explanation of what endometriosis is. Now, endometriosis comes with a lot of pain. And because cramping or the squeezing of the uterine walls causes some pain, most people will dismiss endometriosis as cramps. There'll be that confusion. So that now, even when it needs attention, somebody just goes and takes
Brufen
ama ibuprofen. Wengine hata kuna sindano, hata watu kwa chemist wanadunga these girls And for me, actually, I'm not for it, because when you start introducing hormonal and pain injections in a girl's body, then there must be something you're camouflaging. Because pain is a language of the body to say, I'm not okay.
I'm not okay.
Kindly get me checked. So endometriosis is something I would say is normal to have pain, but unajua uchungu ya cramps na uchungu, somebody is supposed to really differentiate. So for me, I think what we can do as a county and as a country is to get medics to conduct sensitization to the girls, to parents, to the whole population. And I would want to charge this to the Ministry of Health, starting with our Department of Health here in Embu County, to ensure that girls and women understand what endometriosis is. Because this word is out there and people need attention and knowledge for it, so that we are able to handle it. And I would pray, because of how intricate menstrual hygiene has become, if these checks can be made free, it would be very, very key, so that we don't lose another life. One life is too many alive to lose. You cannot say wakikufa 5,000 ama wakikufa 50
ndio tutatake step
serious. We can't do that, Terry. So that's what I would advise that be done by the government, because it's a medical condition and it can be misdiagnosed, which I think is what now can cause even a lot of problems when it's supposed to be treated, as we are busy taking ibuprofen. Then you've mentioned the issue of the fathers. And I want to say that fortunately, the population we have today is not the population of yesterday. But at our siku hizi si. So right now, fathers can pick conversations with their daughters, so that these daughters don't go to have conversations with
other men. True, boda guys. Na hatuna ubaya watu wa boda, please. We just, I apologize, but we are just saying things venye vitu ziko tu kwa grao, si uongo.
Those young men, they go to look for anybody, you know, just a young man who got to kwa shule yao. You know, I realized in most of these schools also, the young men, after if you're in a day school, ukitoka shule, kuna mtu akona Mogoka farms, akona Tupesa, kuna mtu akona boda, kuna mtu akona shop.
They have easy accessibility ya pesa, na msichana hata anataka shida yenye ako nayo ni shida ya soap.
That's the thing. So they will come out, we provide, and then after that they will do what they, you know. I had a conversation somewhere, somebody saying a young man who is under 18 and a lady who is under 18, they already got pregnant. Then now there's a conversation of that both of them were willing. But according to law, anybody under 18 cannot make a decision. And then we also have, because of what we are saying, we also have early marriages. In some communities, when a girl gets her menstruation, she has matured, like you're saying, so you're ready for marriage. You're ready to go and have babies. But what happens when somebody marries a 12-year-old and you are 40 years old? What are you even going to do to that girl's system? That girl is not even ready enough to carry a child and another. Because of ignorance, una realize hata hawajui kuna kitu kama family planning. But even why expose such a girl to family planning when she should be in school? And we have a case we are going to handle in Makema where we are going to get somebody's wife, because you don't marry a Form 2 and you pay dowry for her, and even the parent accepted. So it's a case we have, and we are tutafanya hiyo ikiwa funzo kwa wengine. Because you cannot remove a girl from school. Actually, it's child labor. And tomorrow is Day of the African Child. Tomorrow is 17th. No, it's 17. Okay. So we want to tell our men, be serious about our girls. Nurture these girls. Discuss with them these issues. Ask them, how do you handle these things? For me, I remember when I was growing up, because my dad was my mom was working, but my dad was very close to us as his children. Me, nilikuwa naitisha, if I'm supposed to ask for 2 books, I ask for 3, but the third one is a sanitary towel. But today, because of how things are, girls and men and their fathers should feel free enough to discuss
those things.
In fact, ningependa to challenge the man who is watching us today. Can you just go to supermarket today and buy a pad, take to your wife, take to your daughter, and see how they respond? Because again, our men are our leaders. So can you also lead these conversations so that our work is easy?
I hope they hears you, but because at the end of the day, there is something that I've learned with the social media and the generation that we have. If we don't tell them, if you don't find time daktari in your busy schedule to talk to them. Wataongeleshwa na social media.
It's true.
And let me tell you the truth, if there is somewhere that I am not really very present and all that, unless if I have time, mama, I'm going through something, TikTok. TikTok has all kind of teachers, trained, untrained, my goodness. So please, I know that we are very busy trying to run with the economy the way things are, but it is also good for us to be present in our children's life, because again, we cannot raise the children that we have. I think Daktari can bear with me witness. We cannot raise the children of this generation the way we were raised.
Yes.
Frida, yeah. My mother growing up has never asked me whether I've done homework. Actually, there's a day I shared a photo of me carrying napier grass, and you know, people thought it's a joke. No, mpaka kuna mtu alisema nimepata wife material. I laughed because that moment to me is very magical, because my dad got stroke 5 years ago.
Yeah.
He's bedridden. And I thank God we have him. We thank God that we can converse, and even if he doesn't walk and need or anything, we thank God he's there. But that moment was very magical for me, because it's the last moment, it's the last house chores I can say I remember doing with my father before his illness. And I'm looking at the way we were parented back then. Mama hakuwahi tuuliza maybe wewe ni wakamio mko karibu na tao, lakini si wa ushago. There was no vocabulary like homework in my mother's or my father's. You had one idea what is that. We have taken you to school, it's for you to figure it out. Frida si mara moja ama mbili. Tulienda kuamka usome ati unaamka ile ya 3. Because after my 2 years in Form 1, Form 2 in Kangaroo, my mother could no longer raise fee for Kangaroo. Someone was there telling me I should share my story. Nikamwambia mine is for another day.
You should give me a chance. So, I host you. I host the hoster. Or is it hosting the host? And to give us your story.
Oh my God. So when I was in Form 2, my mother got an accident.
Yeah.
And so she could no longer raise Kangaroo girls school fees. I ended up in a day school. Yes. Na nakwambia si mara moja ama mbili. Ulikuwa unaenda kuamka usome, Frida kale kataka kanini.
Andika.
Mafuta ni ya 5 bob. Ilikuwa inapimwa na kale kachupa ka cura mohako 5 bob na 10 bob. Aki tu taa inazima na umeamka 3, unauliza Mungu, God, you know I'm trying.
Yeah.
You know I'm trying. So the way we raised our children, as I told you, me, I couldn't talk to my mother about my periods. I have an elder sister. We are not that close on serious matters.
Yes.
So she was also nowhere to be seen in the picture. And I remember when I started my menses, I was in Kangaroo. Frida tu kuambia ukweli, nilikuwa nimenunuliwa ile cotton. I wish you carried it. Kale ka 50. Si unajua kale ka roll. Mimi najua vile inatumia. I started, I think, my menses when I was in Form 2. I think a friend of mine, she's called Helen. This is like a girl that got just vyenye tu mtu anakupendanga tu bure. They were in Kamodhadha boarding. So hawa ni watoto wamechanuka. Sisi ni watoto wa public schools. Sieta kwa polling station.
I went to one too.
So that is the one I think she just noticed something is just wrong. And I remember I was given sanitary towels by that girl. So whatever you are doing right now, it makes me to reflect back on myself and the things that I went through. So even the girl that texted me the other day, I was telling you, texted me like, I will try to figure out how to help. But I would want us that we are raising children and also the fathers to be really present. I want to know how my daughter is. I want to know how my son is, because we have to really come together and reflect on this parenting. Tusikue, kazi yetu ni kuweka nani comes.
Yes.
Tumeenda raha zetu. Ukipata jioni, if you have a teenager around 10, 11, wewe hautaajiri msichana wa kazi, you just do your things, the girl is asleep, you will never know what is happening to your child's life.
And you know, Terry, one of the best, I like what you said, because one of the channels that these parents have that our parents didn't have, una historia CBC, doing homework with a parent, because you can't call a child and tell them, hey, come, I want to tell you about menses and periods. So when you're doing your homework, when you're looking for those materials, just you kindly bring the topic, because it's still a sensitive topic. Your young son will not understand, and your young girl, kitu ya kwanza they'll feel shy. You're talking about blood. I mean, coming from where? So this gives a very good platform for people to introduce the discussion. And again, it has to be very intentional. like you're saying, and very deliberate, because hatuna hiyo time. Sasa hii uchumi vile imekaa.
Tuko busy Frida. Daktari siwezi pata hiyo time.
I know.
Siwezi pata hiyo time.
Deliberate. I agree with you.
So
and even how the pads are used, those girls should be told.
Wow.
Yeah.
Looking back, I'm looking at what you're doing in the society, and I'm like, I hope that you'll be able to get people that will work with you so that you can be able to achieve whatever vision you have. And my question would be, because as I can see, we are being told that time is not on our side.
Yes.
What would be your take at this particular time, or what would you say has been your greatest challenge ever since you started doing this? And maybe are you looking at a place in future to get to the political space again, so that you can be able to implement some of the policies that you're talking about, and as you also help? What would you say has been your greatest challenge, and what has also been your greatest achievement ever since you started doing this? Because someone asked me something. I know you have seen by now, there is a story I covered of a girl that is launching a book, a disabled child who has written a book with an elbow. And I remember I've been inviting people for that event, and the passion would make someone think it's my event or someone is paying me. So someone made a comment and was like, you must be getting something out of this. You know the way we have made everything monetary benefit.
Yes.
Kwanza alisema vizuri, wacha tu niseme, alisema lazima unakula poa. Aki, I laughed. I'm like, I wish you'd know. Some of us will go out of our way to just cause an impact in one life. Because that is what we will, tutakumbusha Mungu. God, I did this, and I've worked with God several years to know that He's a God that will continue to affirm your steps as long as you're accomplishing, you have agreed to obey. Sometimes whatever you are doing, utafika mahali unaona ni kama, by the story, people will misinterpret you, my dear. Watasema, Frida anatafuta njia tu ya kukua relevant, wacha nitumie your word, so that 2027 ifike, atafute siti ingine. But you're looking at some of the things that you're solving. Someone is in a position to solve them, yet you're doing nothing. Yet you're busy discussing them that are getting out of their way to be able to bring a solution. I want you to share with us your two things. Your greatest challenge and your greatest achievement to whatever calling God has called you to at this particular time.
Thank you so much. I would say that, yes, it's true. Every work has a challenge. But for me, the greatest challenge right now is the magnitude of the assignment. Because we are talking about period products, sanitary towels being available for me to every girl. But actually it should be to every woman. Because in some cases, hata nimekumbuka, we donate pads to girls, and because even their parents are young enough, anatumia hapo. So it's a real issue. The magnitude of the work for me is what is overwhelming, but we want to keep trying. Also, the other problem that we have is that some people think that when we are mobilizing for the sanitary towels, we need huge amounts. It's kidogo kidogo ujaza kibaba. I give a 10 bob, you give 20, somebody else gives 30, that makes one pad already. So I would want to urge the people that we are appealing to, don't look at it like you need to put in your 1,000 or 2,000 or 5,000. Just compact your work. And because of accountability, we have a pay bill number that we are mobilizing through. Our pay bill number is 891300, account number 98216. So through that, it's on Mchanga, it's on a digital platform. So when you put your money, you're even able to see how much we have collected. And when that money is withdrawn to go and buy pads, you can be able to see that we've bought. And then our accountability, we take it to our social media pages. I'm on Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, TikTok, as Frida Karani, being Miss President. When you check that, you check what we do with what you support us. Greatest achievement is to have success stories. I have a girl who has SMS'd me last night. It's the latest. And she has told me, you came through for me at a time when I was in great need. Kazi yangu ilikuwa kuomba pad moja 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 from every girl. So for me, the success stories is what makes me happy. And to even hear a child say, I no longer miss school because you bring to us sanitary towels. Yes.
That makes you happy.
Very happy.
Wow.
Very happy.
So what is your vision? Looking forward.
Yes.
I'm not into politics, as I said, but
Yes.
I love what you're doing. I love the zeal and the passion.
Yeah.
I might not be able to be joining you because, as you know, that I'm not around Embu. I know a lot of your work is in Embu County, but to be able to work together as much as I can.
Yes.
So what is your vision going forward? What would you say you're putting your hands into so that you can be able to achieve whatever God has called you to do at this time?
For me, I want to say I want to be a change leader. And if the people of Embu or the people of Kenya feel I can serve them in a political capacity or a government capacity, I pray that you reach out to me and you tell me that is what you want us to do. The other thing that the other vision that I have is that menstrual equity, these campaigns of donating pads, they are so fragmented. Terry is doing something small, I'm doing something small, somebody is doing something small. The school I was in yesterday, Terry was there today, and there's one that doesn't have pads. For me, the vision I have is that the work of menstrual equity can be consolidated and we form a collective or a movement where we can achieve a goal. For politics, because I've been in it before, for now, I'm really focusing on the needs of the people of Embu. However, as I serve you, if the need to go into a political position comes, then we shall definitely do it. And thank you, Terry, for having me, because I'm sure on this your platform we will get people to support us. And I don't take it for granted. I am very excited.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Before we finish, I want you to appeal to people that can support you. Maybe at the end of the day, we will sit down maybe some later and say that we are happy that we did this. The organizations maybe that would be out there, but I don't think even we need to do that because you've been out there for quite a while, and I believe you have held a platform. I just pray that at the end of the day, we will be in a position to help where we can. So you have shared your pay bill number, but I want you to share your number. There could be someone that there is a teacher that ametoka na huko chini mashinani anasema I wish naweza pata mtu anaweza kuja kuleta 2 pads hata kama ni some few packs to my girls, because sometimes unatoanga pesa yako kwa mfuko. Kwanza nini, teaching is a calling. Unaweza pata we hata yeye mwenyewe hana. So we'd ask you to share your number so that we can have someone to get ways of reaching you. I know you have shared your social media, but tuongee tu kweli. Hawa watu wana huko ndani hawajui Twitter, hawajui LinkedIn ni nini, but they have a katululu. That katululu where niko na namba ya mtu anaweza pea mtoto wangu pad. And I believe you can come through for them.
Thank you so much, Terry. My telephone number is 0710 292920. My direct line, you can get me directly, and that is the number that I use. Or 0733 79 7909, and we will have a conversation, because this thing needs not to be a secret anymore. We talk about it openly. Thank you.
Man, that is how a pad looks like.
Yeah, it's not magic.
Boy child.
It's not magic.
Boy child.
We use it and it's not.
Naona venye mtu wa video anakuangalia anashangaa huyu.
You don't throw this one away. We will use it to dispose. So this is what it looks like, men. It's not magic. This is how a sanitary towels looks like. Yeah. When a girl puts it on her clothes or her panty and her body, it collects blood like this. So as it collects blood, inafura na inafura na inaabsorb, so that the blood doesn't go back. And then these wings, they hold it in place in the panty. When we are done, we remove it, we tie it, we roll it, and then we use this paper that we didn't throw away. You roll it tightly, and then there is this strip, this colored strip that is pink for this kind of pads, the near pads. It's pink. You fasten it. And then if you have a dustbin, let me use this as an example. If you have a dustbin, when you've tied it this way, you just dispose it. And that is it.
A question.
Yes.
After how long are you supposed to change? I know there is someone, before we finish, sorry. There's a lady or someone that has bought this one.
Yes.
And maybe your daughter has I know this is supposed to be another whatever.
Another whole program.
The whole session. But please let us touch on it.
Yes.
After how long are you supposed to change? Like this one, I can see they are only 8.
Yes.
And someone, maybe a girl has an heavy flow. So what is the max yenye unafaa kukaa na pad tu watoto wasikae na a whole nini juu mamangu aliniambia hii iende miezi miwili.
No, you're supposed to change your pad. I will not give a time span, but preferably the pad that you use in the morning, change it over lunch hour, and then from lunch hour change it in the evening, and then in the usiku ulale na pad nyingine. That is for a normal flow. So that is about 3-4 pads in a day. But if it's heavy, even those who change even after 2 hours, 2 hours, 3 hours, you go and change. And then the first days and the last days, usually the flow is slower, so you can stay with it longer, so that it doesn't seep through your panty and stain your dress.
Okay. Yes. Thank you so much, Daktari, for coming on board. Thank you so much. We appreciate. To our viewers, today was quite an educative session, and we feel, you know, I love this show because in the middle of the conversation, you realize, oh, there's a lot to be addressed on, and time is up.
Yeah, like the endometriosis.
Yeah.
You could consider bringing a doctor, a gynecology, an obstetrician.
No, now what we're going to do in the next session, our viewers, we are going to task Daktari in getting us a good gyna. Then I will do the work of coming to cover up so that we can be able to learn more. I believe you'll be open to have another conversation with us, with the doctor, so that we answer some of the questions that we have, and so that we can be able to understand, is this a normal menstrual pain or is it something else? As we also look to see whether the government will be able to incorporate the checkup for the high schools and everything. So to our viewers, thank you so much. We always happy to bring you these shows. We appreciate you so much, and we pray, we urge you, if you have not subscribed, please don't forget to hit that subscription button, because here we reflect about everything and we include everyone. At the end of the day, it's all of us growing together. For agreeing to be here, God bless you so much. Until next time, keep it inclusive reflections. I'm your host, Terry Sami, and thank you. Thank you so much.